Throughout my career, I had my fair share of struggles. Yeah, so 2013-14, very difficult year for me personally. There were poor form, which I always separate these things. I think stress is poor form. Stress is receiving abuse. Then anxiety is when that is a chronic problem, when that is a problem that doesn't go away, and that's what that season became. When it's consistent, it's wherever you go, it's in the street, it's down the school, it's pretty much overwhelming, and that was that season. There was then petition to take me out of the England squad. That that fed into another thing that happened the following year when I was at Everton and got burgled at home, and there was no, when my home then became not a place of escape, it became very sort of suffocating, where work life was not great, home life was not a place of sort of comfort, and life became quite difficult. As a footballer, I was always someone who sort of judged how life was going by those 90 minutes a week. So I could have been the best dad, I could have been the best husband, I could have been a great colleague off the pitch, but ultimately how the quality of how my life was going was judged on field. And I think a lot of people in professional football are guilty of that their whole world revolves around how they are playing, how their form is, and when it's not going so well, you forget about the fact that I was a young guy from a small town like Bradford who was playing for the biggest club in the world and feeling like an absolute failure because at that time performances were bad. And yeah, playing for a big club, that's the baggage that comes with that there isn't an escape. It is everyone that talks about on the school run, in the supermarket, in the taxi. And yeah, you're in a goldfish bowl, and there's no escape from it. Yeah, so very, very poorly, very uneducated in the beginning. I think that's where society's really improved, that these things are made, people are made much more aware of these things. The support networks we still have to keep developing, but they are there, they're becoming more present, they're becoming more heard of. So very poorly in the beginning. It was home from training and dark rooms and sort of Netflix and not wanting to leave the house before the next day's training, and a very unhealthy way of coping. A really uneducated way to deal with it was to batten down the hatchet and grit my teeth through it, and then sort of you open your world up to professional help, and breathing has been a real thing that I've done for 10 years now. I think sleep is paramount to a real healthy mind, and so those things are all things I've learned, developed, and kept consistent throughout my career. Yeah, so when it was a professional thing, it became very much, right, I'll close myself off from the external world, and you can't get abused if you don't go on social media and you don't leave the house. And then when that place of comfort and sort of real cutaway is also leaves you, when you have a big incident at the family home, then that becomes a real difficult place to be, and quite a suffocating life to live, and it's tiring. It is very tiring when you feel anxious or constantly stimulated. It's a tiring place to be. That presents itself in other ways, not just mentally. It's fatigue, it's shortness of breath, it's panic attacks, it's a lot of things that men and especially in football are sort of closed off to talking about, and it's important that we do. Yeah, family was a big one. The professional help was good during my career. As an industry, we weren't there yet. in terms of providing that sort of support and awareness. We weren't. We were trying to get there, but we weren't there yet. I think it's much better now. The guys, the PFA, the support networks, the awareness, the weeks like this, we're improving as an industry, as a society, and yeah, like I said, I think it's really important that as human beings we can suffer stress. We're in a stressful industry, we're in a stressful time in our lives. I think when that becomes chronic and overwhelming, and like that's never going to end, then it becomes a problem and an issue for someone. I always like to see the positives in it. I think the way I can speak to Brendan Weirdo, the way I can speak to Bim, I really see a positive on what I went through in my career, and ultimately that's what I enjoy doing, is using that difficult period in my life, in my career, to help others to navigate through that. And like I said, they seem really like they're coping with a difficult game or two, or a difficult week or two, and it's important that is all it is a difficult week or two. We're allowed to have that in football. It's when it becomes months, years, it's when it becomes outside baggage from this place. You take it home with you, you can't sleep because of it. That's when it becomes a problem that I'm probably not qualified to deal with. Yeah, obviously, there's, speaking quite openly, there's parts of you that is fearful of dropping back into that, and there's mechanisms, and I'm much more educated and aware. But yeah, there's always part of you that'll be fearful to ever go back to that place. Maybe that's why I work as hard as I can, not just professionally, but also to make sure I look after myself, to make sure I speak to people, to make sure that you check in with others. And yeah, there will always be a bit of a fear about that period of life, and I think that's normal, because yeah, it's definitely not a time I look back with much fondness. And I'm sure I've not mastered the art of it just yet. I'm still only 36, but I think you've got to listen. You must listen. You don't know the full picture, or what someone's going through, or what problems this player, that player is facing, unless you listen to them, let them speak, and then sort of empathise what they're going through, and then I think I'm qualified enough to deal with a lot. But if not, then make sure you locate and seek the right help for that individual. I think I'm quite a stable person, so I think that helps, offering a bit of a rock-like figure, and being a strong or stable person is helps in those situations. And listen, my door's always open for any player, no matter what the problem, and they know that. Yeah, I think it'll differ at every club regarding the environment, the manager. I like to make mine as open as possible. It's human beings at the end of the day, and what I experienced was something that I feel I want my players to have to go through those kinds of periods. So it's always as open as. Nothing is banned from talking about it in my office, and yeah, the players have got to be able to trust you with that. So we try and build that as an environment, and make sure that there's a big element of trust, and I think the players can trust us that we're here to help them, no matter what whether that's on or off the field. It's important. We have to understand that. There are times as a footballer you need to be strong, you need to be durable, you need to grit your teeth. But there are also times that is absolutely okay that those qualities can take a back seat, and you can talk to someone and you can show a bit of vulnerability. Now that is it's a tough balance to get right in football, because we know what qualities you need when you're trying to dig in for that last minute at Luton away, but you also need to know off the field that times are changing, and it is okay to show the other side.